Listen to me closely. If you are thinking about walking into a dealership in 2026, you need to stop, put your wallet away, and listen to the math I am about to lay out. We are not just looking at a bad market, we are looking at a financial minefield. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we aren't reviewing a specific truck or sedan. We are reviewing the single most expensive machine you will interact with this year, the 2026 U.S. automotive market. And folks, the spec sheet on this market is terrifying. If you've been watching the headlines, you've probably seen the optimistic takes. You've heard that inventory is back, dealer lots are overflowing with over 3 million units, and the Federal Reserve is finally cutting rates. It sounds like the soft landing is here, right? Wrong. The data tells a completely different story. We're looking at a K-shaped divergence that is going to crush the average American buyer while the wealthy cruise by in six-figure luxury SUVs. So, is the market reliable, or is it going to leave you stranded with negative equity for the next decade? Let's pop the hood and look at the numbers. Let's start with the walk-around. When you drive past your local Ford or Chevrolet dealer today, it looks like 2019 again. The lots are full. Cox Automotive data confirms that inventory has surpassed 3 million units for the first time in years. In some segments, specifically full-size trucks, we are seeing a 100-day supply. That is massive. The industry standard is 60 days. Basic economics says when supply goes up, prices go down. But this market is defying gravity. The average transaction price, or ATP, is still hovering near $50,000. Why? Because while the exterior looks plentiful, the chassis is built on greed. Manufacturers are engaging in what we call trimflation. Let's look at the base model reality. You see an ad for a 2026 compact SUV starting at $28,000, but when you get to the lot, that base trim doesn't exist. Take the 2026 Subaru Outback as an example. The data shows the base price effectively jumped by over $5,000 simply because the manufacturer eliminated the entry-level trim. They're forcing you up the ladder. You are seeing plenty of cars, but they're the wrong cars. The inventory glut is concentrated in $65,000 trucks and luxury SUVs. If you're looking for that affordable, reliable $25,000 commuter sedan, you are out of luck. That segment has been decimated. You're competing with thousands of other budget-conscious buyers for a slice of the pie that gets smaller every day. Now let's pop the hood and look at the engine of this market, the financing. This is where the 2026 performance numbers fall apart. We know the Federal Reserve has cut the federal funds rate to between 3.50% and 3.75%. You might think, great, my auto loan rate will drop too. But auto loans don't work like that. They're what we call sticky. They go up like a rocket and come down like a feather. Forecasts for 2026 show the average new car loan rate hovering around 6.7%. For used cars, you're looking at north of 7.1%. Let's do the math on that, because this is where your cost of ownership explodes. Let's say you're buying a $50,000 vehicle. You put zero down, which I do not recommend, but it's what many people do. You finance it over 60 months. In the good old days of 3% interest, your monthly payment would have been roughly $898. Total interest paid? About $3,900. But today's 6.7% rate, that same loan costs you $983 a month. Over the life of that loan, you're paying nearly $9,000 in interest. That is a $5,000 difference just for the privilege of borrowing the money. And that's for a prime borrower. If your credit score is under 660, you are in the struggle arm of the K-shaped economy. Rejection rates for auto loans have climbed to over 27%. Lenders are tightening standards. If you do get approved, you're likely looking at rates between 15 and 20%. On that same $50,000 car, a 15% interest rate pushes your payment to nearly $1,200 a month. You end up paying $21,000 in interest alone. That is a financial catastrophe. Let's move to the interior, or rather the used car market, which is usually the refuge for smart shoppers. You want to know, is the used market reliable? Usually, I'd tell you to buy a 3-year-old lease return. It's the sweet spot. You get a car that's taken the depreciation hit, but still has modern safety tech. But in 2026, we have a structural failure in the market called the donut hole. Think back to 2020, 2021, and 2022. Remember the empty lots, the chip shortage? Manufacturers stopped building cars. Well, you cannot buy a used car that was never built as a new car. Because millions of vehicles were never produced during the pandemic, there are millions of vehicles missing from the used market today. This shortage of 3- to 4-year-old cars is putting a hard floor under prices. The average listing price for a used vehicle is stuck over $26,000. If you're looking for a reliable, low-mileage sedan for $15,000, you're hunting for a unicorn. You're forced to choose between paying nearly new prices for a 2023 model or settling for a 10-year-old car with 100,000 miles. And with repair costs skyrocketing, which we'll get to in a minute, that older car is a risky bet. Speaking of the interior experience, there's another design flaw we need to address. It's not scratchy plastics or bad cup holders, it's the dealership finance office. We are seeing a massive spike in add-ons and opaque fees to make up for margin compression. One specific flaw is the destination charge. On a 2026 Ford F-150, the mandatory fee just to get the truck to the dealer has hit nearly $2,600. That is non-negotiable. This is where the dealership experience gets really gritty. When you're sitting in that finance box, they're going to throw complex contracts and monthly payment sheets at you to hide these fees. It's designed to confuse you. Now, let's talk technology, specifically electric vehicles. If you bought an EV in 2023 or 2024, I have some bad news. 2026 is the year of the depreciation bomb. We are seeing a massive correction in EV values. Federal tax credits have expired or shifted, effectively raising the price of new EVs by $7,500 overnight. Demand has stalled, dealers are flooded with inventory of models like the Mustang Mach-E and Volkswagen ID.4. But the real story is on the used side. Used EVs are losing 40 to 50% of their value in the first 3 years. That is significantly worse than gas or hybrid counterparts. If you're a seller, this is a nightmare. You're underwater. But if you're a researcher type, if you're the person watching this video looking for a deal, this is your opportunity. This is the one spot in the market where the buy signal is flashing green. You can pick up a 3-year-old EV for a fraction of its original MSRP. You're buying $50,000 worth of technology for $25,000. If you have a garage and can charge at home, the real-world MPG savings are massive, but you have to be willing to ride out the volatility. We need to talk about the most common problem in the 2026 market. It's not a blown head gasket, it's negative equity. The data is terrifying. Nearly 29.3% of all trade-ins right now are underwater. The average amount of negative equity is over $7,200, and 1 in 4 people owe more than $10,000 on their trade-in. This creates a debt spiral. Let me walk you through the math, because this is how families go bankrupt. Let's say you have a car worth $18,000, but you owe $25,000 on it. That's $7,000 of negative equity. You trade it in for a $40,000 new car. The dealer rolls that $7,000 into your new loan. Now your loan balance is $47,000 plus taxes and fees. Let's call it $50,000 total. You are financing $50,000 on a car that is only worth $40,000. The second you drive off the lot, that new car depreciates 20%. It's now worth $32,000, but you still owe roughly $49,000. You are now $17,000 underwater. If you lose your job or if you get in an accident and your insurance only pays market value, you are on the hook for the difference. This is why repossessions are projected to breach 3 million marks this year. The banks know this, which is why they are capping loan-to-value ratios. You might find yourself trapped in your current car because no bank will finance the negative equity rollover. Finally, we have to talk about the cost of ownership. It is not just the monthly payment, it is the insurance. Auto insurance premiums have exploded. The national average for full coverage is now around $2,256 per year. In states like Florida, California, and Louisiana, it's much higher. Why? It's a mix of climate risk and vehicle complexity. A minor fender bender in 2015 cost $500 to fix with a hammer and some paint. Today, that bumper has parking sensors, a radar unit for cruise control, and a camera. That same fender bender is a $3,000 repair that requires recalibration by a specialist. Labor rates for mechanics have hit $150 to $200 per hour because of a technician shortage. So even if you buy a cheap used car, keeping it running is more expensive than ever. You have to budget for this. When you are calculating your monthly affordability, you must add $200 to $300 a month just for insurance. If you don't, you aren't looking at the real price. So what is the verdict on the 2026 market? Is it a buy? For the vast majority of you, the answer is wait. The trimflation, the interest rates, and the insurance spikes make this a hostile environment for the average buyer. However, I know some of you cannot wait. Your car is dead or your family is growing. If you must buy, here is your survival strategy. First, timing. The data suggests the end of the year, December, was your best shot for new cars. Dealers are desperate to hit annual quotas. January resets the clock and fees often go up. For used cars, wait until mid-2026. We expect a wave of repossessed vehicles to hit the auctions, which might soften the pricing on the low end. Second, target the unloved. Do not buy the hype. Avoid the popular mid-size SUVs. Look at sedans. They're less marked up. Or look at the day's supply leaders, vehicles like the Ram 1500 or Jeep products that are sitting on lots for over 100 days. That is where you have negotiating power. Third, and most importantly, follow the 24-10 rule. Put 20% down, finance for no more than 4 years, keep the total payment under 10% of your gross monthly income. If you cannot make the math work with those rules, you cannot afford the car, period. Do not stretch to 72 or 84 months just to lower the payment. You are just digging a negative equity grave. And if you're buying used or putting less than 20% down, you must get gap insurance. With used car values dropping, you don't want to be caught owing the bank $5,000 for a totaled car. The 2026 market is a nightmare, but it's a nightmare you can wake up from if you stay disciplined. Don't fall for the payment trap. Focus on the out-the-door price and the total cost of ownership. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button so the algorithm warns other buyers. Drive safe and protect your wallet. I'll see you in the next one.